And during this time, there was a lot of room hopping going on. You know, people they were kissing and just a lot of room hopping going on. One person would be in the room, and two people, a female and a male, would be in the room, and then the female would leave, and you see another female go in, and just men and women going in and out of rooms, and I was really uncomfortable with that. It kind of shocked me that they would be this loose about themselves.
I told him no. To get back to the story, when we was in the conversation at my house, I told him, matter of fact, I didn't tell him no then. I told him I'd get back with him. That's how I was able to keep the paperwork. He came back to the house, and I told him no, I couldn't do it, and I still have the papers in my possession. And that is one of the things I wanted to present in court, to show them the motive on why Jacob York decided to, or conjured up these stories with these young females. So a week later, Jacob York contacted me, we met again, and he went on to describe the house and why he needed the house. Again, he reiterated that he needed the house. It was a nice house. It had numerous bedrooms in there. He also mentioned the girls that were moving with him, such as Karima, Arlene Hardington, Esther Cole, and also how these females were a part of the conspiracy. And this is the things that he mentioned, that he definitely needed the house. The reason why he needed the house, or why he came to me with the bank statements, was because I was involved with forgery bank statements before, checks and IDs and different things like that, which I served my time for. I took full responsibility for that, and he knew I was good at those things, and so he confided in me the question of opportunity. He felt as though I would do it, so I told him no. I told him I couldn't do it, but before I told him no, I gathered information on the conspiracy, like who was involved, what girls he had, or which ones he planned on bringing to the house, and he reiterated those facts about the females and moving them off the land, and having them in his so-called nest. And these are the same females he was having sex with, and the same females that were down on the South Beach trip, same females that made these allegations, and he was the main axis of it.
Based on the court transcript, there's no evidence that indicate that Jonathan Marks had dismissed or withdrawn the judgment of acquittal. If you read the transcript, and I'm going to read this portion of the transcript to demonstrate that. All right, the court indicates here at this point, all right, Mr. Marks, anything further? Mr. Marks, no, Your Honor. But in light of the testimony of Habiba Washington, we withdraw our motion. The court, all right. I think there may have been a motion for judgment for acquittal. Now, you got two conflicting points here. One is our motion, as indicated by Jonathan Marks, and then you got the court saying, oh, I believe that there may have been a motion for judgment of acquittal. Did you file that? What's the status of that? The U.S. Attorney interjects, Mr. Moultrie. That was actually filed as an accompanying motion with Mr. Patrick's motion. The court. Oh, I see. Okay. Mr. Moultrie. And I believe that that motion, both of these motions have been withdrawn by Mr. Marks. Now that wasn't the case. But he go on to say, I believe. The court. Okay, Mr. Marks. Mr. Marks, yes, sir. Did you hear what I said? There's a motion for judgment of acquittal that apparently was filed by Mr. Patrick. I know you withdrawing his motion for a new trial. I assume you are withdrawing that one too. But I mean, then Mr. Marks, yes, Your Honor. But with respect to the current motion, after having conferred with Mr. York, I'd like to withdraw my statement that I'm withdrawing the motion for a new trial based on newly discovered evidence. So I request that the court rule on that motion. The court, I'll do it. Mr. Marks, thank you. The court, all right. Is there anything further? Mr. Marks. Mr. Marks, no, Your Honor. Thank you. The court, Mr. Moultrie, no, Your Honor. Thank you. Now, show me where anything in that communication between the court, the U.S. attorney, and Marks, where Marks expressly said, all right, that he withdrawing the judgment of acquittal as he expressly said with the new trial motion. All right, using the term yes do not mean anything. It could be assumed that he was acknowledging, all right, but then if you use that assumption, then you would have to conclude that it was the judge who actually dismissed or withdrawn the judgment of acquittal. Okay? And Marks just agreed to it.
Yeah, to Florida, to South Beach. It was a trip that he set up with a whole bunch of banats, which is, the girls, and we were all going to go out there and talk about, how he was going to set up everything. And he felt like Florida was a perfect place because he felt like, whatever was going to happen in Florida, we shouldn't tell nobody else. I was very close to going. I mean, I was going to go, but it just, other things happened to where I wasn't able to make the trip.
During our trip to Florida, we had several conversations in the car with Jacob. It was some other boys that were there, and Jacob started talking about going on the land and taking some of the kids, just kidnapping some of the children off the land. He was talking about my sister. My sister was still there. My younger sister, Isla, was still there. And he wanted us to just go up there and just take her and take some of the other little girls and boys off the land because he didn't feel that they should be living on the land with his father. But we had all agreed that that was not going to happen. None of us was interested in going up on the land and kidnapping anybody. So Jacob said, well, then we can just do it the legal way.
He would say how he wanted to just go up to the land and take the children that was up there because he didn't think that they didn't need to be around his father because his father was this horrible person. And everybody was like, he's a wonderful man, he didn't do anything wrong to anybody for him not to, be around anyone. But Jacob insisted that his father was just this horrible person and that we needed to go up to the land and just take all the children. And we were like, we don't want to do that. And he that eventually subsided. He was like, okay, we won't do it. We'll have to do it. We'll do it legally. We'll go to the FBI. And at the time, I didn't believe him because Jacob has a way. I just didn't believe him. I just didn't believe that he would do something like that. I didn't think that would really happen.
Yes, well, it was two parts to that. One, Dr. York had initially a 4-count indictment that was superseded with a RICO charges and everything. Now, it's important to understand the original indictment was not a RICO indictment. All right, now, we not only did we have RICO, I think we had another conspiracy count, we had general counts, we had over-ass. RICO